The lady facing the wall is Tess, and this is where the low...
Yeah, she's gonna be something. Dude, that's what I would do. Guys, don't worry. I'll make sure that she doesn't leave. And then all you hear is... Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. Alden Fowler is back at it with another Abno SCP video. I think he should just pivot into being an SCP channel. And I'm going to react to all of his SCPs and go... That was scary. That's going to be me. What's going on here? Play the video, please. I'm going to scream.
Some of Lobotomy Corporation's weakest abnormalities would be classified as Euclid. Not the A-list, not even most of the WAs.
This video almost has 20k. This bro is dropping these videos and getting 20k views like nothing.
I mean the tests. The things Lob Corp looks at and says, yeah, this is manageable. While the SCP Foundation...
What the hell is this art? And can I get... Oh my... Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not know that my cursor was in grope mode. I am so sorry. Oh, let's move on.
It's the same abnormality and says, we can't leave this thing alone for 5 minutes.
Get away from... No, she's
going horribly wrong. That makes them Euclid in the eyes of the Foundation. This is the key distinction between these two classification systems. The argument we have here...
Listen to this music. Alden's like, oh no, I'm never going to be an SCP channel, but listen to this music, dude.
The thing we have to decide is whether the thought...
All that's missing is number 13, Burger King, killer lettuce.
Choices and behavior make the Abno's containment...
What your favorite SCP says about you.
Unreliable. Because Euclid is where the Foundation starts asking things like, how dangerous is this thing? How confident are we that this thing will keep behaving when nobody is looking? Before we get into the list, I owe you guys a quick apology. In the last video, I did not explain clearly enough that this was going to be a series. The original plan was to classify the entire Lobotomy Corporation abnormality roster into one video. However, that would have been several hours long, and by the end, I would have sounded like a madman.
Dexter!
Being held hostage by the SCP Foundation themselves. And most of you would have abandoned me somewhere around the 4th Euclid on the list.
Clay is bald and secretly the Burger King foot lettuce thing.
So we split it into 3 videos.
Isn't it a guy? Isn't it a person?
Covered abnormalities the Foundation would classify as safe. This episode is Euclid. And
I like how Alden's actually fighting this bird when anybody else with a anybody else would have just reset 5 minutes ago.
This week we are going to be dealing with Keter. This is where the containment procedure...
Thank God I never have to fucking play this game ever again, because Zombie King said he's going to pay $100 to make me play this game again, and he's too busy buying Edelgard plushies from Fire Emblem, so he's never going to be able to do it.
Stop feeling like, well, procedures, and start feeling like desperate prayers written by people who have already watched the emergency response team get eaten, or ran through by a unicorn or some shit.
What the fuck?
So
Unicorn?
Yes, this is a series. 3 videos, 3...
What the fuck movie was that?
Classic SCP classifications. Safe is done. Euclid starts now, and Keter is next week. Euclid is not simply the medium danger category. That is the first thing we need.
It was $50? No, because he asked me how much, and I said 100, and he said it'll happen. It's going to happen. It's happening. It's coming soon.
Clear up. Euclid covers abnormalities that are insufficiently understood, inherently unpredictable.
Motherfuckers are trying to downplay the money so that I get sucked back into this piece of garbage game.
Expensive to contain, and too unreliable to leave unattended. The Foundation can contain them. Usually. But the procedure may require active supervision, specific personnel, regular checkups, backup plans, more backup plans, and one exhausted researcher whose entire job is making sure...
This movie, I see this GIF all the time. I have no idea what it's from.
Wrong button. The locked box test explains it pretty well, and if you put an abnormality into a box and you leave it alone, and you know exactly what's going to happen, that points towards safe. If you lock it in a box to think, I hope it stays in there, I hope it does not change its behavior, and I hope that nobody has to open the box. That's more Euclid territory.
I got my first copyright for the Cabin in the Woods movie.
And the abnormality does not have to be apocalyptic. It does not have to be stronger than a WA.
Oh, that's Cabin in the Woods? What the fuck? Does everything just devolve into there's a secret government organization below the surface that's doing all the bad things?
It simply has to be unreliable enough that the Foundation cannot treat containment as a solved problem. That distinction is going to be the backbone of this entire video. And this is where Lobotomy Corporation's threat levels need some context. Lob Corp was not using its classifications to answer the exact same questions the SCP Foundation was. Its threat levels were part of the facility's operational system. They were connected to—
Look at this. Listen to the soundtrack he's got played. This Eldon Fallor wants to be an SCP creator. That's what this is.
The abnormality produced.
He wants to do the top 10 creepiest SCPs.
How much enkephalin the facility could extract, and what kind of work and management the abnormality—
Eldon, it would be great. Bring the kids in and they could watch you edit the video, and then they'd be like, stop, I'm scared. You'd be like, yeah, and that's what's going to happen if you don't do your chores, you little bastard.
They demanded.
That last part, that's just by me. You don't have to call them little bastards. That's just added if you want to bring them up and be tough as nails, okay?
The game's data sheets connect the energy—
My dad called me a little bastard when I was growing up, and he scared the shit out of me.
Production values to the abnormality's threat level rating. That connection matters because LobCorp's ranking is not a clean measurement of how difficult the SCP
measurement
Foundation would find an abnormality to contain. It's closer to how much can we get out of this.
Why does the Dream of Swans, why does this art for Dream of Swans looks like some like new school, like Adult Swim animation kind of art, and I don't like it. I thought that was an anus for a second. All right, we're never going to talk about Burrowing Heaven ever again. It's horrible and I hate it.
DP Foundation would find an abnormality to—
The DP Foundation?
It's closer to how much can we get out of this thing and how much punishment comes attached to the process. The SCP Foundation is looking at containment reliability. Lobotomy Corporation is looking at containment reliability, employee survival, energy production, and whether the abnormality can help keep the facility running before it turns the welfare department into a crime scene.
Oh my
Those
God.
systems overlap, however. They do not—
That sounds like what the Republicans want to do. Turn the welfare section into a crime scene. He made it political.
Match. This is why a teth can be a Euclid and why a walk can sometimes remain safe. LobCorp is grading the work environment.
That was a fantastic joke, by the way. Sometimes you have to go political for the joke.
The Foundation is grading the box.
What the f are you talking about, Fallor? What
now,
the
this is the
was that
part I need to address because roughly 30 of you brought it up in the comments of the last video, and the argument was if the abnormality can think, it automatically has to be Euclid. I understand where that comes from. The SCP Foundation generally treats sapient and autonomous anomalies as more difficult to contain because a thinking entity can make decisions, change its behavior, and act outside of a predictable routine.
I'll never understand. Well, I do get all these movies where they're like, we have the world's most dangerous terrorist. He's the most cunning and most methodical murderer. He outthinks us all the time. He's always one step, 1,000 steps ahead of us. Somebody leave him alone in the room and go get coffee and talk to somebody. Oh my God, I can't believe the most well-known, most methodical, smartest criminal ever has broken free.
But Sapience is not a magic button that changes the classification. It is a major warning sign. The Foundation still has to ask what that intelligence actually means for containment. Can the anomaly make decisions that affect its containment? Can it intentionally disobey? Can it change its behavior? Can it manipulate personnel? Can it leave the box without anyone activating it? And can it create a new problem simply because it decides to? Those are questions that matter. SCP-085 is sapient, animated, two-dimensional woman with her own personality. She is cooperative, restricted to specific media, and classified
as— There are some SCPs that are just drawings? What?
Safe. SCP-507 is an intelligent, cooperative man who randomly shifts between alternate dimensions and—
They're about to say an intelligent man that randomly shivs people.
Is also classified as safe because the Foundation has a workable containment model around him, even though his ability is wildly unpredictable. That example is especially useful because SCP-507 is not predictable.
Why are people actually fighting these abnos? Just restart, dude.
Sense.
Bro's got no enkephalin. Just restart the day. You're fighting nothing there. You're not gonna lose anything if you fight him. Just restart.
The Foundation simply understands how to manage the unpredictability. A sapient anomaly can be argued to remain safe when it's cooperative, restricted, and reliably contained. Safe does not mean the abnormality has no mind. Safe means the Foundation has a reliable enough system for containing it. So when someone says the abnormality can think, therefore it has to be Euclid, the answer is—
I think, therefore I Euclid.
Not entirely. That is evidence for your argument. It is not the entire case.
Jesus Christ, Alden busted out a college-level thesis tearing down these shatters, dude.
Can support a Euclid classification. It does not complete the argument by itself.
What what you're proposing to me is a strong man, my good sir. A straw man. Allow me to strong man your argument with an argument of my own. Fuck you.
So yes, this can affect some of the safe placements from the previous video, and it can at least be used as an argument. If an abnormality is clearly capable of independent thought, planning, manipulation, and deliberate action, then it can be argued that the abnormality belongs in Euclid, regardless of its Lobotomy Corp threat level. But having a personality does not automatically the same thing as demonstrating independent choice. Some abnormalities have names, faces, dialogue, recognizable emotions, or fixed reactions to the employee's actions.
He doesn't have the kill Aleph mission, so he's just doing it for the love of the backdrop.
It does not necessarily prove that they are making decisions outside of their established rules. Child of the Galaxy has a defined token system. The danger comes from mishandling the token holder, not necessarily from—
Man, that must make Angela so mad when she sees us like restarting just to complete missions for the other people. Like
the abnormality demonstrating.
Like, you're telling me that you're doing this shit just for quests, dude? This is my life. This is my life, and you're questing with it.
New plan every time someone enters the room. The woodsman has a specific breach sequence tied to its work and the employee's temperance. Horrifying, absolutely. But whether that demonstrates independent thought can be argued either way. The Foundation would investigate whether these abnormalities are thinking entities or whether they're running on fixed responses that only look personal from the outside. If the evidence proves that they're making autonomous choices, then their placement can be argued upwards. If the behavior is fixed, repeatable, and fully controlled by a reliable procedure, keeping them in safe remains a defensible position. You need to demonstrate that the thinking—
Bro, why are we arguing with— just do the tier list, Unk.
Creates an actual containment problem for me to be willing to change the placements. All right, rant over, guys.
This was supposed to be a video about like, oh, you know, like we got to compare them to the other game, but it just turned into, oh my good man, you're overlooking the simple fact that when x plus y equals the square root of Undertale.
Why are there low-level abnormalities here? Now, here's the thing. This list gets embarrassing for Lobotomy Corp. Some of the weakest abnormalities in the game are in Euclid, and if I'm looking at my list right, there might be a couple of them in next week's video also. Scorch Girl, Meat Lantern, Fragment of the Universe are all Teth. These are not Euclid because they secretly have the destructive power of a wall. They are Euclid because the Foundation cannot confidently lock them—
I'm not a math Asian. Now that's a callback.
Get out of my ass.
That's a callback.
Way and assume the problem is over. And that is what makes this classification system so funny. Lobotomy Corp says this is a low threat. The Foundation says, fine, put it in a box. Then the abnormality does something strange, violates the expected pattern, or it creates a second containment issue that nobody accounted for, and now the Foundation has created—
What happens when they make Lobotomy Corp 2 and they have like an actual like crossover with SCP? I think the internet wouldn't be able to survive.
a new department with 3 revised protocols and one researcher frantically writing a sentence that says, do not allow the entity to actually interact with anything. This is the official way the Foundation surrenders, by throwing their hands in the air and saying,
that's what I would do. Oh, I got this new job. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's at this place called Lobotomy Corporation. It. Never mind. Oh, it says here. Never mind. I got a new job. It's at a place called SCP. Never mind.
So we are starting with Schadenfreude.
I'm going to go to the welfare section.
Because this is the kind of abnormality that immediately exposes the difference between the threat level and containment difficulty. It is not enough to ask whether Schadenfreude can destroy the facility. The Foundation has to ask whether its behavior remains—
I mean, I guess I would rather work for Lobotomy Corp because at least I could die multiple times and I would just feel like I was in an anime. And like they just like keep restarting time. However, there would be like a weird like meta game where you'd have to like try to make sure that other people die instead of you, because there's like those moments in Lobotomy Corp where like you complete the objective and you get the Inca-Fallon, but like a guy died, so you restart. You just like go forward anyway, and you don't restart to go back and get that guy. So like there'd be like a whole like meta game anime where like I'm like standing back and I'm trying not to get selected by the cursor, so I don't have to go and fight the guy, so that if I die, I don't get revived. Like, it'd be crazy. With SCP, you're dead.
When personnel stop actively managing the situation. If it's containment dependent—
there's no metagame. The manager chooses you to do something, you have to do it. Yeah, but if the cursor doesn't pick me, dude, I can just hang out in a room and not do anything. So I'll just make sure, I'll just move like Toy Story when the manager's not looking. I'll move on my own, go to a different room so that when he clicks and drags, he doesn't get me, and then I don't have to go fight the Apocalypse Bird.
Observation, employee positioning, or a specific interaction rule, then the box rule is doing—
Oh yeah, but if the train hits me, yeah, that's Yeah, because, yeah, oh god.
None of the actual work, and the foundation is. And the moment the containment team has to keep checking whether the abnormality is behaving properly, safe starts becoming difficult to defend. Schadenfreude is key in LobCorp. That tells us he is not
Schadenfreude. His name's Schadenfreude.
considered an overwhelming facility threat during normal operations.
But he can simply assign you to work without having to select you. Oh, but if he clicks the little return knob, yeah. If I'm hiding out in one of the break rooms and he hits like the little like return button, and then I get sent to the room and then he selects everybody. Dude, they thought of everything.
Euclid is not asking whether the abnormality is over.
No, I'll have to slip a couple dollars to the glitch gremlin, and then they can sabotage the game so that for whatever reason he just can't click me. Oh, but what if he revalidates his game files on Steam? Oh,
it's asking whether the foundation can leave it alone without worrying about what it'll do next.
Clay doing that clerk behavior would never be a nugget.
For Schadenfreude, the answer is no. Working on this thing requires you to not notice it, and while you're actually working on it, or it escapes. However, after escaping, watching it makes it real simple, so who knows. This one I'm going to butcher, but
yeah, that'd be a good, yeah, you try to get sent to the king or the KOD. You get sent to KOD and then you don't have to work anymore.
Freischutz is a mercenary who can
Or I just tell the manager, look, dude, you already sent me in to work on that one abno. You cannot send me in again. And he'd be like, wait, really? Like, I did? I'd be like, yes, dude, you did. Really? I thought I picked it. No, you picked me. You can't send me back in. Whew, okay. Whew, okay.
He hired to fire bullets. Normally, this would help the facility.
Knowing me, I'd be out there fighting something, and then the manager would just like shoot me with a real gun and kill me by accident.
If it wasn't for
then not restart the day.
That damn 7th bullet rule that messes this whole thing up. That already makes the containment procedure more complicated than simply locking away a weapon and putting a warning sign on the door. That is where
Clay Nugget goes to the shelter of the 27th of March on his own and destroys the facility.
Safe falls apart. The Foundation would need to track every shot, control where he is allowed to fire, and make sure the random 7th bullet doesn't turn a controlled operation into a facility incident. And this is not a target range. This is a one-man firing.
Is there any SCP like Der Frankenschweitz where he could just shoot and kill people while he's being contained?
Wide, which can wipe out an entire floor of a facility at a time. This is not Bob standing at the end of the hallway with an apple on his head while everyone takes bets on if it hits the apple or vaporizes the poor guy.
What the hell is even happening on my screen right now?
She can use Der Freischutz or whatever.
Der Frankenschweitz!
It cannot treat him like a predictable firearm, and that lack of predictability makes him Euclid. Scorch Girl is Teth, and this is one of the first placements where the Foundation looks at LobCorp's classification and says, "You gave that damn thing Teth? What the shit?" When Scorch Girl breaches, she marks a random agent prioritizing employees in her own department. She cannot, however, target someone who is currently working inside a containment unit. But then she slowly walks towards the marked employee's room like some sort of It Follows demon, just trying to take out its victim. The target
Bro, I saw a clip from It Follows where it's like that giant dude in like the doorway or whatever, and I was like, that's the most fucking terrifying thing ever. We need more of that in horror everything.
Eyes enters the containment unit or starts working on another abnormality. Before she reaches them, the mark transfers to someone else. And once she reaches the target,
wait till you get to King of Greed, Clay. I wouldn't mind having a little bit of time with King of Greed. You know what I'm saying?
This room count.
We're talking about the chocolate Thanos lady, right?
Count begins after 5 seconds.
She could Thanos snap me any day.
Boom. She detonates, dealing 300 red damage to every employee in that room. If she cannot target anyone, she walks to a department's main room and explodes there instead. After detonating this mini nuke, she returns to containment. I know it's not technically an apocalyptic entity, but it is absolutely...
Bro just called the character a chocolate Thanos glove lady.
Not something the Foundation leaves in a box and forgets about. The containment procedure has to account for target selection, employee movement, room access, and the possibility of a department becoming a fallback target. Teth and Lobotomy Corporation, but Euclid for the Foundation. Red Shoes is he.
Like, how long does it take? Does it really take you a week to do this video, Aldo? Like, there's so much yap.
And the containment problem starts with a counter of 1. The counter lowers after normal or bad work results, or when an ordeal passes through the department, including Violet Dawn. When the counter hits 0, the alarming event begins. Red shoes enchants an employee with a temperance level of 2 or lower and forces them to walk towards the containment unit. The employee gets a glowing pink face and they march directly towards the shoes. They know where they're going. They are simply no longer in charge of their movements. Dude. They are completely controlled by the entity and cannot stop their actions. However, if someone notices, they can slap the shit out of them and break them out of their...
What the fuck is that, Valor? What the hell? My editor does. I get the voiceover and the script done by like 5-ish hours. Oh my god.
Trance.
It takes you 5 hours to make a 40. You people need to put some respect on Alden Valor's name.
It would just be the manager. In SCP, if someone notices a pink-faced zombie walking by, it's a simple fix. You just have to hope it's the asshole who took your lunch last week for the added perk. If that fails, the employee puts on the shoes and becomes a E-class threat, carrying an axe, and starts attacking other employees. This is Euclid because the containment issue is not limited to that room. The abnormality turns a member of staff into the breach, and now the Foundation has to monitor the counter, identify the affected employee, stop the trance, and prevent the employee from reaching the shoes. Containment is possible. It's also one distracted employee from becoming the next Lizzie Borden situation.
Oh,
so
no.
It has to be Euclid. Well, guys...
You can't tell me... Oh my god, why did I pause on this? You can't tell me that Alden Valor doesn't want to make horror videos.
Now we have the Nameless Fetus, which has a cute...
You're lying to yourself, Alden. Take it within yourself. Become the horror guy.
Of 1, which in this case means he's a very big, easy to set off baby. When the counter...
Do a video about Hereditary, because that movie was creepy, dude.
0, the fetus starts crying and shrieking. That crying applies constant damage to every employee in the department, gradually lowering the queue of counters of other abnormalities in the same department. So the fetus is not just having a bad day, it makes everyone else have a bad day. And the way you stop it is incredibly normal and emotionally healthy, I swear. You activate its special ability. The game selects an employee or a clerk or a roulette-style selection. Yes, this is gameplay, but still. That person walks into the containment room where the fetus grabs them, devours them, and restores the counter to...
I thought I saw everything about this game. More shit just keeps happening in this game. Like, what the fuck? There's only 100 abnos. How am I still seeing new shit?
1. That is a manageable procedure.
Oh my god!
Because somebody gets to feed the baby. Nameless Fetus reaches Euclid because the Foundation cannot treat its containment as passive. The procedure requires constant work management, department monitoring, and a sacrifice option that no reasonable containment team wants to call a standard operating procedure.
Look at Alden Valor correcting Pipis in the chat. Like, yeah, actually, it's actually 111.
The lady facing the wall is Tess, and this is where the low...
She's got to be something. She's about to be pregnant in
level place.
Listen,
and start becoming genuinely impressive. She does not need to escape to be a problem. Her effect causes severe psychological damage to everyone in the department.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Guys, don't worry. I'll make sure that she doesn't leave. And then all you hear is, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'm doing my job, guys.
At once, and it does not matter where they are. An employee can be nowhere near the containment room and can still be affected. They could be in another hallway. They could be in another department. They could be at home asleep in bed. The lady does not care. That is a containment problem because the physical room is not the limit of the abnormality's influence. There is an argument that she could remain safe because she does not escape, and that argument is fair. But the Foundation is not only concerned with whether she leaves her box, it is also concerned with whether the box actually contains the consequences of her behavior. If everyone in a department can be affected at once, regardless of location, Euclid becomes a safer call. I will say this one is close. You can argue the scale of her psychological effects pushes her towards Keter. I'm keeping her in Euclid because the effect is severe, but the abnormalities, behavior, and containment location remain understandable. Teth, Euclid, and still somehow less convenient than simply facing the wall like she asked. Snow White's apple is the first wall on the list, and the reason
Face the wall, huh? Face the wall?
she lands in Euclid is that her breach changes the facility around her. When she escapes, she teleports to a random
Clay isn't actually gay. I told you I'm not gay.
corridor and covers them in thorn vines. Those vines slow agents continuously and deal black damage. That means the Foundation is not dealing
My hate Snow White's apple.
Dealing with one escape target moving through a hallway. It's dealing with a spreading environmental hazard. The containment team
this is one of my most fucking hated abnos ever.
Now has to track where she teleports, identify which corridors are covered, distract.
You be doing some shit, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have to go kill Snow White's apple. Too bad I can't because she's just standing in the thorns. I can't get anywhere close to her, and I can't do anything about it.
To employees and suppress the abnormality before the facility becomes a maze of hostile vines. She is Swan, Lobotomy Corp.
Hey, she teleports too. It's not bad and.
But she is not automatically Keter. The Foundation can identify the breach behavior, it can prepare for the damage, and it can create a response plan, and has faced off against other entities that do similar stuff, while changing agents into flowers at the same time. She is very dangerous, but she is containable. The all-around helper sounds like the kind of machine that would make your life easier, like your coffee maker, or a robot from something like, I don't know, iRobot.
iRobot? Yikes. Oh, what an unk.
But we all know how that went. And then
I'm very anti Will Smith. I can't stand him. I want nothing to do with him.
It escapes, and it turns into a spinning blade with legs. Once it breaches, it takes on an aggressive form with elongated blade limbs. It pauses, it winds up, and then it dashes across the length of the room, dealing red damage to anything in its path. Employees, abnormalities, furniture.
Racist, man. Okay, so I mention a black man, and you immediately think that it's about his skin. It turns out you're actually the racist.
Probably. After the dash, it runs out of power for about 10 seconds before spinning up and doing the whole thing over again. And this is not a normal attack.
Clay, can you sing me Happy Birthday? What? You see, you got August. You got August pissed off now. Now you got August pissed off at you. Eating lunch right now. Wait for me to start before. Wait for me before starting the voice acting segment.
And this is a Beyblade with workplace injury.
Can you sing me Happy Birthday? Oh, it's copyrighted. That's the only note that I can do. I can do the very beginning, but then the rest of it is copyrighted.
Free policies just built into it. The Foundation can contain it if it understands the timing and keeps the personnel out of its.
If I watch the rest of this video, this might be the most like mind-numbing video that I've ever made.
Path. But because
I was trying to watch this like claymantics reacting to Alden Fowler's abnormality video, and all he was talking about was banging the wall lady, singing Hava Nagila, and singing Happy Birthday.
Breach creates repeated room-wide movement and requires active suppression windows. Safe is not appropriate. The fact that it has a cooldown does not make it friendly. It just gives the response team 10 seconds to regret being assigned to its particular suppression. Beauty and the Beast has one rule. Never
What the fuck is that? Is that a cockroach mole rat lady?
The woman twice in a row.
A cockroach mole rat mutated? What in the holy hell is fire is that?
Anyway, if you do, the creature dies. The employee who performed the second repression work transforms into the next beast.
Is that?
The employee is permanently lost, and the safest way to work with it is to alternate work types.
What?
Use insight between repression attempts, or better yet, use insight repeatedly and stop trying to make the situation more goddamn complicated than it already is. This is a Teth abnormality.
You're watching the guide so you can get back into Lob Corp. Listen, the number was set at 100.
But the containment procedure is not simply send someone into the room and see what happens. The Foundation has to track the work history and make sure the same type of work does not happen twice consecutively. And I know the Foundation does not.
So you have to lose a guy just to work with it one time?
Need to do any work, and if I wanted these videos to be boring, they would just max out suppression, beat them into eggs, and just stasis them, but that would not be interesting at all, would it? One mistake kills the abnormality and permanently converts.
I really think that I think they need to make like not a procedural show. They need to make like an anime or something about like SCP where like it takes them like 6 episodes or something to like take down like one of the SCPs or something. Cause like I can't stand, I hate when people do procedural stuff and it's like, oh yeah, it's the monster that turns everybody into liquid shit. Oh, it's the liquid shit monster. Oh, and then it's gone in like 2 minutes. They beat him in 2 minutes and it's over. I hate that shit. But like if they made an actual show that like they actually had to like work, there's like rules that they have to abide by, kind of like Death Note, how like Death Note had like rules and they had to play within the rules, and some people would lose the game and other people would win the game, and then you know I want something like that, but like with horror monsters.
The employee into a replacement threat, and there is an argument that this could remain safe because the rules are clear. But if the containment team has to monitor every previous work order to prevent a fatal transformation, Euclid is completely defensible. Rudolta of the Sleigh is he, and Rudolta is not seasonal, even though the name.
You know, I've seen this thing before. But I wish I never saw it ever again.
Sounds seasonal, but trust me.
One time was enough. I don't ever want to see this thing ever again.
Guys, it's not.
Why does it have udders? Why does it have udders? Or are those just... Oh, I don't want... Nope. I shouldn't have zoomed in. I shouldn't have zoomed in.
Avoid a breach, the Foundation would need to avoid bad work results and carefully manage the counter. Good work is important because it can raise the counter. Normal and bad results risk lowering it and triggering an escape, and this discount Santa responds best to work in this order: insight, attachment, instinct, and repression. The problem is not that Rudolta is impossible to understand. The problem is that the containment depends on consistently getting the management conditions right. That makes it active, conditional, and vulnerable to human error. So
Clay wants to try that milk. Alden Fallor. I'm gonna.
See, now you just made it weird.
Okay.
So if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck gone wrong, because this thing is not a nice Santa sleigh, and that's for sure. Queen Bee is where I want to make a broader point about this list. A lot of these abnormalities could easily...
Clay didn't say no. I'll say no a million times. No!
...fall into safe if all we did was put them in a box and never work on them. Many of them only become dangerous when the quill of counter drops to 0. And that is true for Queen Bee. Her counter can drop with a 50% chance after normal work, 70% chance after bad work, and when it reaches 0, she spreads yellow spores across the entire department. The spores infect random nuggets and clerks, and they deal 8 red damage every 2 seconds for about 20 seconds. So the employee...
Can you imagine working at the chicken nugget factory and somebody comes up to you and goes, "Sir, they've infected the chicken nuggets. They've infected the nuggets. The nuggets have been infected."
Dies from the spores? Well, a worker bee violently bursts out of their body. The worker bee is a He-class threat and attacks nearby employees. And if an agent enters the queen bee's containment room while she is in a bad mood, she sprays spores directly onto them, dealing physical damage every 1.5 seconds for 20 seconds. So yes, if nobody enters the room, nobody works with her, the procedure looks simple. But the Foundation does not classify abnormalities based on a fantasy where personnel never interact with them. It classifies the things that happen when containment is tested. Queen bee is Wa, the worker bee is He, the spores turn employees into secondary breach. Euclid is a
brother download a mod just to put cat ears on a nugget.
Appropriate middle ground because the Foundation can
Alden, is there something you want to tell us, Mr. Catboy?
Prevent the instant management, but it cannot ignore what happens when the counter reaches 0. Alriune is Wa with a containment condition that requires
okay, I never actually saw this one. What the fuck?
Careful management. She prefers cleanliness work. She dislikes violence. Attachment instinct are more acceptable, while repression is heavily penalized.
Schadenfreude.
Good.
The editor gets the extra foot. So your editor is the cat boy. A likely story. Oh yeah, I'm buying this dildo for my friend. This vibrating butt plug dildo and cat ear combo for my friend. He's my friend. It's for a friend.
Bad work results can drop her counter and trigger an escape, so the goal is to produce a neutral result when possible. That means adjusting employee stats, work duration, or assignment choices to avoid giving her exactly the results she does not want. When she breaches, she teleports around the facility through pink flower-like curtains. If an employee is in the same room, pink petals begin appearing above their head. 1, 2, 3. When the third petal appears, she
hit Alriune with hammers.
Channels a massive continuous white damage attack, and if the employee's SP reaches 0, they die instantly and become covered in pink curtain. The suppression strategy is hit and run. Send a strike team, deal damage, pull them out.
Send a strike team.
The third petal appears. She may look like a giant pink gummy giraffe, but she runs like an animal that just remembers it owes somebody money, and once she drops her load, poof.
Bitch better have my money.
That contrast is the entire experience. She's a Swan, Lobotomy Corp, and Euclid here because the rules are understood.
Oh, she's so hot. Incredible, 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 incredible. Oh my god, Ryoshi was so hot.
Active management, careful timing, and a suppression team that knows when to leave. Punishing Bird is a test, but it is also the smallest argument.
He is the cutest little guy, and he's so annoying.
For Euclid in this entire video.
Hey, look at him go! Look at, hold on. We gotta look at him go. We gotta go back and we gotta look at him go. Hold on.
Punishing Bird is a test, but it is also the smallest argument for Euclid in this entire video.
Look at him!
If it stayed in the box and just pecked at somebody
Look at him, he's so cute!
And then, went home, safe would be a perfectly reasonable placement.
Guy!
It does not stay in the box. It escapes. It pecks some people, and then it goes home. And that's the whole problem. Punishing Bird is not a major facility threat. It is more of a tiny nuisance with wings. But the SCP system is about containment, and you cannot call something safe when it repeatedly, consistently refuses to remain contained. And even if its escape behavior
The
is
only
more
part to have nothing to do with the video got Clay so hype.
irritating than catastrophic,
He looks like he got a blunt injury in his head. How are you saying that the punishing bird is brain damage? You leave him alone.
Bird is not dangerous enough to be Keter, and it's not reliable enough to be safe. Euclid, it's tiny.
He might not be Keter, but he could be cuter.
Euclid, or like a flying containment violation. King agreed as a hottie sealed in amber. When it escapes,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Alden, the truce is back on, Alden. Thank you, Alden Fallor. A man of many. He's
it can teleport around the facility, and it eats everything in its
a man on my side. What the fuck is this? I take it back.
path. The worst part is,
Yeah, more like the king of breed. Yeah.
it can only be attacked
Woo!
from behind safely. So the Foundation needs
That's some damn fine call. It's and hot. It's hot. Hold on.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
That's what I'm saying.
teleportation technology, a suppression team capable of tracking its movements, and a lot of carefully placed backshot fire.
Alden. My man. My man.
That is not an abnormality you surround in a hallway and calmly point weapons.
What is this? Do you get like secret hidden hallways later in the game?
At. It appears somewhere else, it eats whatever's in front of it, and then the response team has to reposition and attack from
Let Pipus eat that cake. You get the fuck away from my...
behind before it teleports again. The Foundation can make a plan for it. The plan is just going to involve a lot
What did I just join into?
of people staring at the backside of a monster and hoping it doesn't turn around. King agreed is not Keter because the breach has a known suppression rule, but safe? Absolutely not. The Little Prince creates a containment problem through its spore
I
system.
hate this thing. Is gross.
Every time an employee
I don't know what it is. Like, I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and you have to go underwater sometimes, which is bad enough. I can't stand water. I'm terrified of water. But for some reason, there's not sharks or like dolphins or anything. There's jellyfish, and there's like armies of jellyfish. And they scare the shit out of me.
works with it, they gain 1 spore. Working with another abnormality removes 1 spore. The counter can decrease when an employee performs 3 consecutive non-insight works, and it also drops after a bad work result. If one employee accumulates 5 spores, the counter immediately drops to 0. When a containment procedure fails,
Oh, I've never seen it do that. What the fuck is that?
results involve mind control. That means the Foundation is not only watching the abnormality, it's tracking the condition of every
Oh my
employee who interacts
God.
with it, who has worked with the prince, how many spores do they have they performed enough work to be clear of them?
Oh my, have I seen, I don't remember that at all.
Are they approaching the threshold? And that's a lot of paperwork for one little prince. The facility can contain
It's
it.
a fungus. It's a fungus that looks like the jellyfish Among Us.
But containment requires an active record keeping and a lot of careful staff rotation. Laetitia is he, but the danger comes from how easily her effects can move through personnel.
I think it's pronounced Laetitia.
The abnormality creates an interaction that appears
What the fuck is that? Is that a Afghanistan soldier trapped in a gelatin heart? That is a sentence that I never thought I'd utter in a trillion years.
manageable until the employee carries the consequences somewhere else. That makes containment dependent on information, control, and personnel screening. The Foundation would need to track who entered the room, what they received, and whether they brought anything out with them. That is a classic Euclid problem. The object can remain contained, but the effects of interaction
Army in Black is one of the donor abnos. So a dude literally just got back from Afghanistan and he was just like, oh, you want something for your creepy weird ass horror game? How about my life? Well, the things that I've seen, my brothers were exploded by an IED.
interacting with it may not stay in the room. Laetitia is also the kind of abnormality that gets people killed because it looks approachable. The Foundation would put up warnings, someone would ignore the warnings, then the warnings would become longer, then someone would ignore the longer warnings, and even after seeing their friend torn apart from like a chest burster from aliens that have come out of them, for not following the rules, they would still fucking not follow the warnings. Dream of the Black Swan is a Wa whose counter is connected to
These Kids next door, adult swim ad looking motherfuckers.
General condition of the facility. Its counter can drop after a bad work result. It can also drop after a normal work result. Then there's the broader facility conditions. 5 employee deaths in one day, excluding execution bullet kills. 5 employee panics in one day. 1 or 3 more abnormalities breaching in one day. Once the relevant conditions are met, the counter reaches 0. The hostile sister entity escapes. The facility is not only managing Dream of the Black Swan directly, it's managing the entire facility around it. Others breach, employees' death, panics, and work results. The abnormality is effectively monitoring how badly the workplace is going and waiting for the building to become miserable enough. And that is Euclid, because containment can be maintained through careful management, but the trigger conditions are broad enough that the entire facility becomes part of the damn problem. But I will be willing to listen to you.
This Alden Fowler sat down and wrote this script. Like, you got this going on in your head, Alden. Everybody thought that he was just the low top 10. What does this thing say about you? But this guy is an autistic SCP guy, by the way.
Argue for Keter here. Also, Void Dream is Teth and a major pain in the ass. The Foundation would have to.
I can't think of a single thing that I would write a script like this for.
Send employees around at the end of every day and wake up sleeping staff before they.
I'll glaze Killer 7 and Suda 51 and all these, like, a certain game developers. Like, I'll glaze them all day, but I ain't writing a script, dude.
While contained, Void Dream periodically shoots balls of light to the facility. Any
balls.
employee hit by one of these lights falls asleep on a floating cloud. You can wake them by repeatedly clicking on them in game.
I barely know SCP. Oh, then how are you just farming 20,000 views a piece on these videos, and you don't even know anything about SCP? What? He's a LARPer, ladies and gentlemen.
SCP employees, it's another chance to slap people around for fun.
Who am I? Yeah, but you're making videos for LARPers, so it doesn't matter.
There's also a direct management rule. Never send an employee with a temperance below level 2.
I've never seen Void Dream actually turn into that. What the? How you have to fail? You have to make that happen. There's no way you accidentally let that happen.
To work with Void Dream. If you do,
no one knows SCP, Clay.
Fall asleep in containment unit and they die. That is why Void Dream reaches Euclid. Not because it's the strongest abnormality in the facility, because the containment plan requires.
Why does it have a pull string coming out of its ass?
Active intervention, employee screening, and somebody checking whether the entire department has fallen asleep. At the end of every day, the Foundation sends teams through the halls, not to fight a breach, but to slap sleeping employees awake, making this the most aggressively
wake your bitch ass up
hostile bedtime routine here. Normally it's like, take a shower, brush your teeth. Oh, and with this, don't forget to slap Greg. He's on cloud 9 again. The dreaming current is a wand. The breach conditions are much more specific.
Oh my god. Ew.
Specific than the name suggests. The Q counter reaches 0 under 2 conditions. First, an employee with a temperance level of 1.
This is what I imagine that suppressed looks like in real life. I imagine that this is what he looks like. And that's why when he was voice acting in Danganronpa, he was going, it's because he's riddled with bullet holes and he's got a fucking syringe full of some kind of classified government substance pumped into him. He's a freak, dude.
Work sessions with it, or second, an agent panics while inside the containment room, and that's it. Send somebody with terrible temperance into the room, or allow someone to panic inside, and the current is ready to.
I played SCP Secret Laboratory for 700 hours. I don't know how this relates to the conversation, but it's something that I have done. Nomo is an SCP guy? What? I don't know what.
In the afternoon. When it breaches, it covers hallways with liquid that slows employees by 50%, and then it.
By the way, SCP is a very unfortunate thing to say that you're a fan of. I'm a fan of SCP. You're a fan of CP? What? I'm calling the cops!
Just runs back and forth through the halls, dealing damage to people. So the Foundation now has a fast-moving hallway hazard, a slowing field, and a target selection problem. That is why the employee stat requirements matter. The abnormality is not randomly deciding to become a problem. The containment procedure is failing under 2 very specific conditions. Still, those conditions are not exactly difficult to trigger in Lobotomy Corporation, where somebody panicking in your room is basically part of a daily schedule. The Foundation can contain it. It has clear rules. It has predictable breach patterns, but it requires careful employee selection and immediate hallway.
What the fuck did Kiss just say? I want to eat some baked chick right now? What the f could that possibly mean?
Control. This Meat Lantern is Teth, and this is one of the strongest arguments that a low Lob Corp threat level does not automatically mean safe. To prevent Meat Lantern from breaching, the work session must last at least 40 seconds.
I thought this thing was literally just the dangle. I didn't think he was a melted rice cake too, dude.
Counter instantly drops to 0, and this thing annoyed the shit out of me on my first run through the game. I lost so many damn nuggets to it, my god. You also have to send an employee with a temperance level 2 or lower, send somebody with an excessively high temperance, and the meat lantern breaches even if the work lasted longer than 40 seconds. So the abnormality is punishing you for doing work too efficiently with the—
We're reaching the 2-hour point, and we're still 10 minutes into the— we still have 10 minutes left of this video.
Wrong employee. Wonderful. When meat lantern escapes, it burrows underground into a nearby hallway, often near another containment cell, and it just waits. Only the glowing flower, a few teeth are visible. Like godforsaken anglerfish, it uses its flower as a lure. Any agent, clerk, or any other abnormality that walks over it is instantly swallowed and killed.
It kills other abnormalities? Oh, he's based then.
It does not need to chase anyone. It does not need to run through the facility. It simply hides in the floor and waits someone to make the wrong step. You can suppress it, but you should never send melee units or employees.
Alden Fowler like forced his editor to play this game. Alden Fowler is a slave driver, dude. He's like, you will play this game for my video or I will do it for you.
Against it because they're just food. They will walk directly into its instant kill range. Use your American agents with guns to eliminate it from a distance. This is where I will admit Meat Lantern can be argued into Keter. Its camouflage skills are absurd, its breach location is unpredictable, and it attacks with an instant kill. And the containment team has to deliberately avoid using normal methods of sending people into suppressed and escaped abnormality. I'm keeping it in Euclid for this list because the breach can be safely handled with the correct ranged response, but if you want to argue Keter for Meat Lantern, you have a very strong case. This thing is a landmine pretending to be a flower. The dimensional refraction variant is a Wah whose
refraction
trait is that it's almost completely invisible. The Q counter drops under 2 conditions. A bad work result lowers it, and if the work process takes longer than 20 seconds, the counter decreases. That means the Foundation has to manage both
what the hell does this thing do?
Work and the clock. When it breaches, it appears as a barely visible floating vacuum-like distortion. It looks like rippling air. Employees cannot automatically detect it. They will not attack unless
it's a wormhole.
You manually order them to target the distortion itself. It does not display a health bar while breaching, and it is a pain in the ass.
I would rather have to deal with this thing than play Refraction Railway.
Gas form. So the Foundation is fighting an enemy that is almost invisible, has a hidden health, and is not automatically detected.
Oh my goodness!
It requires someone to manually point at a patch of
oh my god, and it leaves you in a gourd stasis?
In the air and say, shoot that. The distortion also creates a lethal vacuum inside its container.
The melting love weapon is just a jug of the melting love lady. You just throw her goo at people?
Unit. Any biological entity
what the
relevant range dies from asphyxiation.
They put the lady in the jar.
Through it during a breach deals 40 red damage to employees. There is one reason I'm not putting this in Keter. After exactly 3 minutes, it automatically returns to its containment chamber. That timer gives the Foundation a reliable emergency endpoint. They can evacuate the area, manually target the distortion, and wait for the anomaly to return. But the containment process is still a nightmare. You cannot see it properly, you cannot track it properly, and if you forget where it is, it can turn a hole.
Clay knows a lot about throwing his goo at people? I'm not a sexual assaulter, thank you very much.
Way into a vacuum cleaner with a kill count. Very close to Keter, but I'm keeping it here. Porccubus is a he that relies on strict stat checks.
I thought it was a she.
Your agent needs temperance level 4 or higher to work with it safely. Send someone below that threshold and the consequences are immediate and dire. If an employee with a temperance level 3 or lower gets a good work result, they die. That is one of the strangest punishments in the entire facility. The employee did well, murder it.
What? Bro's head just turned into a fucking watermelon, bro.
It congratulates them by killing them. A bad work result lowers the Q count. If it breaches and targets an agent with a temperance level 3 or lower, it deals massive white damage. If the attack causes the employee to panic, they die instantly. Laughing.
Bro just whipped out a Barrett 50 cal and is just sniping.
Before their head burst. Like
that's radical, dude. That's radical.
That scene from Scanners. And once Porccubus breaches, it continues attacking until it's suppressed or the day ends. The suppression has another catch. Porccubus is completely immune to attacks outside of its direct reach. You have to send employees into its immediate attack range and use melee weapons, so it's the opposite of Meat Lantern.
Porccubus is just farming people right now, dude.
So the Foundation needs high temperance personnel to work with it.
Oh, there goes another one.
Survive its breach attack.
Pop the head,
and
watch
melee
it.
personnel willing to stand directly
there it
beside
goes.
the thing that
Oh my God! What if that's the soldier with PTSD and he's accidentally killing his fellow man? That's oh my! And the Porccubus is just there. Oh, that explains it. He's just straight up shooting people's heads off.
Explode your head when you panic. Porccubus is Euclid because the rules are strict and dangerous.
He's the most misunderstood abno, dude.
But they're also clearly defined. Use the wrong employee and the abnormality turns the staffing department into a Darwin Award ceremony. Parasite Tree is Swan. This is where the word blessing because
I thought that I thought that was a leg, that was another leg, and that was a vagina. Okay, I'm not gonna. I need to take some time off. I need to recuperate. I'm having an issue.
becomes legally suspicious. Its Q counter decreases when you perform repression work. Also drop when another abnormality breaches. And if you complete 5 works with other abnormalities.
Bro, does your editor, why does the aspect ratio keep changing? Who is somebody playing this on a 2x2 monitor?
While ignoring it, it also decreases. So neglecting the tree is dangerous. Working with the tree is dangerous. The tree grants the employees a positive stat boost, increasing work speed and SP gain. The 5 employees who receive the blessings, begin to panic. Shortly afterwards, spikes are ripping through them, killing them instantly and transforming their bodies into hostile saplings that emit a fatal toxin. That's not a blessing. That's a delayed subscription to meta. The most important
Oh my, it grew a vagina.
part is that the affected employees can be interrupted.
It actually happened.
While a blessed employee is slowly being mind controlled and walking towards the tree's containment room. Pause the game rapidly.
Yeah, this is so crazy. I'm reacting to a video of Alden Fowler playing the game right now.
Click on them to break the effect. Yes. More
and somehow he's playing the game with a controller too, which is insane.
slap a bitch content from our favorite game. You also need to watch the bud count work with the tree just enough to keep it passive.
When it's my footage, it's slightly better footage.
But do not.
Wait, so Alden, you play on a 2x2 monitor, bro? Dudes, what?
Casually farm the stat boost until 5 people
By the way, way to just throw your editor under the bus.
are walking around with botanical death sentences. Execution bullets can also be used on charmed clerks if they wander too close. Parasite Tree is worse than Cherry Blossom.
I prefer Parasite the Maxim.
Tree gives 5 employees a stat boost, waits until everyone's feeling good about themselves, and then turns them into poisonous baby trees. And that is Euclid with a serious argument for going higher. Clouded Monk is
What the hell are you? Do you have to like redub your video? What the hell was? It's a serious argument for going higher.
that punishes bad work, normal work, and
Filipina editor. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Filipina. I take it back.
general collapses of the facility. Bad work results in lower of the counter. Normal work results in that as well, and 10 employees die in the facility, and his containment immediately breaches. If Yin breaches, so does he. He crawls
Isn't the monk kind of based though? Because doesn't he go around and kill other abnos?
towards Yin's location just to attack it. Because apparently the facility did not have enough problems, so now the abnormalities are starting personal feuds with each other and trying to fist fight in the hallways. Insight work is the preferred method of managing him. Successful insight work heals the employee for 15 SP. That gives the Foundation a practical way to keep him stable while restoring the mental health of the worker assigned to him. When Cloud Monk breaches, he transforms and crawls through the facility dealing red damage. Every so often, stops and starts dodging his attack. It's unblockable and it deals massive amounts of red damage, and employees need to be moved out of the room fucking pronto. Do not stand there and test the monk's patience. He has already reached the "you're part of the conversation. Cloud Monk is Euclid because his breach conditions are broad, his movements are dangerous, and his Yin interaction can create immediate secondary incidents. But the rules are still understandable, so Euclid. I don't know how to say this one, guys, but
Just a little doggy.
Ppodae is just a cute little puppy. Look at him. Look at that face. That is the face of an innocent animal who has never done anything wrong in his entire life. You can trust me. This is absolutely not set up for a terrible containment decisions, guys. That would be how you end up.
I like how when he reaches, he like ages 18 years and gets a tribal tattoo on his arm and starts ripping people to shreds.
Document titled Incident Report. We let the puppy do whatever it wanted. The dog looks harmless. That makes personnel more likely to underestimate the rules around it and improvise.
By the way, we have Alden Fowler playing the video. He's playing the video game. I'm reacting to him, and he's also in the chat giving us developer commentary. This is cinema.
Work. The Foundation would use restricted handlers, clear interaction procedures, and a simple rule that nobody is allowed to treat the containment room like a damn petting zoo. The important point is not raw destructive power. It's whether the containment team can trust employees to interact with the abnormality correctly every single time. Ppodae is tough. Ppodae is cute. Ppodae is also Euclid. Just Firebird is Swan. His entire management.
There's another bird? I thought there was 3. There's another bird? Where did this bird come? What? Where there's another bird?
The management system revolves around its Q counter. The counter ranges from 1 to 3. It decreases when another abnormality in the same department breaches. It also decreases when you
Fiery Bird isn't a part of the gang?
get good work results. A bad work result will increase the counter.
Fiery Bird is a fake bird.
The counter is at 1, or if an employee's HP is below 20%, Firebird heals you guys of both physical and mental health. That sounds helpful. And then you remember this is Lobotomy Corporation, so
The only Firebird that I like is not my 83 Firebird. I take it down the highway every day.
Healing Bird is also one bad
Oh my
management decision
God.
away from becoming a bonfire in the middle of your facility.
Yes, Alden, you must make the Keter video. You must asking this question like he ain't already doing it for a free 20,000 views.
Its counter reaches 0, it breaches, it ignites into a fiery phoenix, and passively just deals damage to everyone in the room. When attacked, it blinds the employee who hit it until it completes another task. Employees wearing Judgment Bird's ego, though, are immune to that. And if the employee dies or panics, they burst into flames and ignite nearby employees, doing white damage to them all. So yes, Firebird is Euclid. But you want to know the funniest part? Something we put in the safe category can straight up murk you if you're caught wearing Firebird's ego, and that is Snow Queen. Go watch the previous video if you haven't seen it to understand those mechanics. Firebird is Euclid because the counter mechanics are understandable. The breach can be suppressed, but the Foundation needs to manage the counter. Control the department, prevent chain reaction deaths, make sure nobody treats the Healing Phoenix like a free health station, and you're good. Oh, finally, we're on the last one. Fragment of the Universe is another test.
This thing looks the most like an SCP to me, and yet he's useless. This guy ain't a threat at all.
Reaches Euclid because its interaction rules are too strange and conditional for passive containment. Personnel need to understand what they are dealing with before they begin work. If employees cannot reliably predict how the entity will respond, then the facility needs active procedures around every interaction, and this screams Euclid. The abnormality can be contained, but the containment team has to try paying attention. Fragment of the Universe does not need to be the most destructive entity on this list. The Foundation is not awarding object classes based on who can destroy the most walls. It's asking whether the rules stay stable when the anomaly is left alone. For Fragment of the Universe, the answer is uncertain enough to land it in Euclid, and honestly, Fragment of the Universe is already a name that makes containment teams wish somebody else had picked the damn name. And if you're still here after 27 abnormalities, first of all, thank you. Second,
you're welcome.
Exactly why I had to split the series into 3 videos. If you like how I did this breakdown in this video, let me know. Or if you would prefer something more like what I did in the safe video.
Fucking Alden Fowler watching his own video right now on the screen. Fucking somebody's gonna see it.
Go for Keter. Also, let me know so I don't have to struggle through a 20+ page.
Why is my hand on his abs? Get me out of here.
Script next week. If I had put safe Euclid Keter into one upload, this episode alone would have become a feature-length documentary about my poor decision-making skills.
Oh my God, by the way, look at this. Do you see this, guys? Is that the cross on our very own Alden Fat? He is anointed by God. Oh my, he actually, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, you are blessed, my son.
Alone would have become a feature-length documentary about my poor decision-making skills.
Alden Fowler drinks, look at there, it is again. Oh my God, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, my Lord. He drinks holy water for breakfast.
If you think I got one of these placements wrong, leave a comment. Be specific, because wrong is technically
be specific. Be specific.
feedback. But it does not give
everywhere he goes, he's got everybody everywhere he goes, everybody always knows that he is the man of God.
Much to work with. Tell me which abnormality should move, which containment rule should change your mind.
I think the wall lady needs to move to a new position.
Especially if you think Meat Lantern belongs in Keter, because that one is going to start some arguments. And if you think the Sapience thing automatically means Euclid, bring an actual containment argument with you. Don't just point out the abnormality and say, it can think. That is how you get roasted in the comments.
Wait, who's referencing Faith No More? Did I do that, or did he do? Listen, I'm perfect. I do everything.
It's by somebody who has actually read the object class guide.
The final verdict.
The Euclid list is where the difference between Lob Corp and the Foundation becomes impossible to ignore. Lob Corp's threat level tells us how dangerous the abnormality is inside its work.
I did that? What did I say?
System. The SCP Foundation.
Oh my God, Alden Fowler is the one who crucified Rouse. That's so right. Oh, how did we not see this coming?
Object class tells us how
what the fuck is that?
reliable containment is when people
the yeah, that's
are trying to keep the abnormality contained. That's why Ppodae can look like a cute little puppy and still deserve containment protocol that prevents employees from making the worst possible decisions. And that is why Sapience needs to be treated as evidence and not an automatic verdict. A thinking abnormality can be safe if its behavior is reliably contained. A non-sapient abnormality can be Euclid if its behavior is too unpredictable. The Foundation is not asking whether the abnormality looks intelligent. It's asking whether the box still works when nobody is holding it shut.
I like somebody just rolled up with a shotgun. Bow,
some of these abnormalities might still be argued in a sense if the Foundation never interacts with them. But that's not how Lobotomy Corporation operates. The moment employees have to do work with them, the moment the Q counter can drop, the moment one bad result creates a department-wide incident, the classification becomes much harder to defend. That is Euclid. Not necessarily the strongest, not necessarily the most destructive.
I like how Forsaken Murderer, like, they literally have him, like, tied up and everything, but everything else, like, the Forsaken Murderer, you just shoot him and he dies. He's just a guy. Everything else is, like, a cosmic horror thing, and they don't have, like, any spells or anything to keep them at bay. Like, what the fuck?
And just unreliable enough that the Foundation cannot stop paying attention to.
Like, the most dangerous things, they're just like, yeah, they're gonna breach at some point, just like, you know, it's gonna...
Next week, we deal with Keter abnormalities. That is where the containment procedures stop being follow these rules carefully and start being hope the facility survives.
They gotta change their logo because all I see is a puckering asshole.
Have to make the rules matter. That episode is going to include the abnormalities that do not merely punish bad management. They punish the existence of the building, the planet, and sometimes existence itself. So subscribe if you want to see where the A-lists and the worst of the WAs end up.
Oh no, oh my god, thank you. Like and subscribe to Alden Fallor. I'm actually giving him the Claymantics channel. Once he surpasses my subscribers, I think I have to pass it. It's all I can do for a man of God.